There is something you're not telling your doctor. Not because you're hiding it, not because you forgot, but because nobody ever told you it was important enough to say. And whatever the thing is for you, the side effect you've been quietly tolerating, the medication you stopped taking, the stress you've been carrying, it's affecting your care right now. Today, we're going to change that. Hey, I'm Florence, nurse practitioner, and the person on this channel who translates what happens in that exam room into something you can actually use. This video has been on my heart for a long time because in all of my years in clinical practice, the pattern I saw most consistently was not patients who didn't care about their health. It was patients who cared deeply and were still leaving their most important information at the door. So let's talk about what that information actually is. First, I want to be really clear about something before we dive in. This is not your fault. The healthcare system wasn't designed around your communication needs. It was designed around efficiency, around how many patients can be seen in a day. And that's really the honest truth. 7 to 10 minutes approximately. That's what you get. And in that time, your doctor's listening, documenting, ordering, and trying to assess everything that's happened since the last time that they saw you. So what happens? Your doctor walks in and asks how you're doing, and you say fine, or okay, or pretty good. Fine, okay, pretty good. Because fine doesn't tell your doctor about the side effect that's been making you miserable for 3 months. Okay doesn't tell them you stopped your medication. And pretty good doesn't tell them that your life has been falling apart. And that stress is written all over your blood pressure. This is a communication gap. The system created it, and today you're going to close it. I want to walk you through 6 things that patients consistently leave out of their appointments. Not because they're bad patients, but because nobody's ever told them these things mattered. Number 1, the side effect you've decided to just live with. A patient starts a blood pressure medication. It makes them tired or dizzy when they stand up, or gives them a dry cough they can't shake. And instead of saying something, they adapt. They go to bed earlier, they stand up more slowly, they carry throat lozenges everywhere. Why? Because they don't want to seem difficult, because they assume this is just how it is, because they're grateful medication is helping, and they don't want to rock the boat. Here is what I need you to hear. If a side effect is affecting your quality of life, that conversation belongs in your doctor's office. Say this: I've been having this side effect and I didn't want to mention it, but I wanted you to know. That's enough. That opens the door. Number 2, that you stopped taking your medication or changed how you take it. This one is so important. Research consistently shows that a significant portion of patients with high blood pressure are not taking their medications exactly as prescribed, and most have not told their doctor about it. The reasons are completely understandable. It costs too much, the side effects are hard, life got busy and the habit broke, you felt better and assumed you didn't need it anymore. Or, and this one is deeply common in Filipino and immigrant communities, you felt ashamed to admit you weren't following instructions. The doctor gave you directions, you didn't follow them. That feels like failing. I understand that completely. I grew up around that dynamic, but here is what I want you to understand. If your doctor believes you're taking your medication and you're not, they will look at your blood pressure numbers and conclude the medication isn't or is working. And then they may add more medication on top of the one you're not taking. You can tell your doctor you stopped. They won't judge you. What they need is the truth so they can actually help you. Number 3, what is actually happening in your life right now? I cannot count the number of times a patient's blood pressure was uncontrolled and the reason was sitting right there in their life, completely invisible to their doctor. A death in the family, a job loss, financial stress that keeps them up at night, a relationship falling apart. Sustained stress has a real and documented effect on blood pressure. This is not a soft topic. This is biology. And yet, how many of us walk into a doctor's office and answer, "How are you?" with the truth? In many of our cultures, Filipino culture, immigrant culture, we were trained not to bring our problems into professional spaces, to present as fine, to handle it quietly. But your doctor's office is the one place where your real life is relevant health information. The stress, the grief, the sleepless nights, all of it belongs in that room. Number 4, every supplement, herbal remedy, or alternative treatment you're using. I'm not here to tell you supplements are bad or that traditional remedies don't work. I'm here to tell you that some of them can interact with blood pressure medications or your prescription medications in general, and your doctor needs to know everything going into your body to keep you safe. This includes vitamins, herbal teas, anything from the health food store, anything a family member recommended, anything you ordered online. So in Filipino households and immigrant households, there are often remedies passed down through generations. Things that work in meaningful ways. Your doctor isn't there to dismiss them, but they need to know about them. Write them all down, bring the list, every single one. Number 5, that you left your last appointment not fully understanding what was explained to you. Show of hands, how many of us have sat in a doctor's office, nodded along to an explanation we didn't fully follow, said thank you, and walked out? All of us. Every single one of us. And I understand exactly why. The appointment felt rushed. You don't want to take up more time. You assumed you'd figure it out later. You asked once and the second explanation was just as confusing. Here's the most powerful sentence you can say in that room, and most of us were never taught it was okay to say. Say this. Can you explain that in a different way? I want to make sure I understand before I leave. That's not rude. That's not demanding. That is the most responsible thing a patient can do. Number 6, how you actually feel about your diagnosis. This last one might surprise you because it has nothing to do with a medication or a lab value. Being told you have high blood pressure, especially for the first time, brings up feelings: fear, denial, anger, shame, grief of the version of yourself who felt healthy. Those feelings are real and they directly affect whether you take your medication, whether you make changes, whether you show up to follow up appointments. If you are scared, say so. If you're confused about why this is happening to you, say so. If you feel overwhelmed by everything being asked of you at once, say so. You are not just a blood pressure number, you're a whole person, and your doctor can only meet you where you actually are if you tell them where that is. 6 things, let me say them fast so you can screenshot this or save the post. 1, the side effect you've been living with in silence. 2, that you stopped or changed your medication. 3, what's actually happening in your life. 4, every supplemental and herbal remedy you're taking. 5, that you didn't fully understand your treatment plan. 6, how you actually feel about your diagnosis. You don't have to bring all 6 at once. Pick the one that's most true for you right now and commit to saying it at your next appointment. I want to say something to you before we go. The healthcare system has not always shown up for communities like ours, for Filipino families, for immigrant families, for people who learned early that you don't take up space, you don't make noise, you don't burden people with more power than you. I know why we learned to say fine. I know why we learned to nod and leave. But your health, your cardiovascular health, your quality of life, your years with the people you love, that is worth taking up space for. The doctor's office is one of the few places in the world where your honesty is not a burden. It's a gift to yourself and to the person trying to help you. So the next time someone in that white coat asks how you're doing, tell them the truth. Download my free doctor visit conversation card. It has a dedicated section for everything we talked about today: side effects, medication questions, life changes, and the one question you will not leave without asking. 1 page, printable, fits in your purse or your wallet. Link is in the description, and if this video said something your doctor never took the time to say, share it with someone you love who has been saying fine for a little too long. I'll see you in the next one.
I need you to lift me up. Lord, I cannot do this on my own.